just a few minutes before 9 p.m. I'm going to let StreamYard do its thing and send out notifications. It's been lagging a lot for me this evening, but we're going to try to go ahead and get this done. I'm going to be hiding behind my photo today so that all my upload power goes to Jonah, so that hopefully we'll get less pixelation and less um, image issues. So when I bring Jonah on, he's already in the studio. When I bring Jonah on camera, he should have a clearer feed and better sound quality. So I'm going to hide behind my photo today, and I'm also going to mute myself when he's actually playing music. Hey April, good to see you again. I had a little bit of a upload hiccup there for a few minutes after my big rant video. Makes you kind of wonder what's going on in the world, don't it? But things seem to be functioning okay now, so we're going to try to get this done. I know that lots of you knew this was going to happen tonight, and we're looking forward to either watching it later tonight or tomorrow in a replay. I know you guys really enjoy the funny videos that I make with him. So this will be just another enjoyable get to know Jonah experience. So most of you have no idea how talented he is, and I don't know exactly what happened, but both brothers in this family are just enormously talented and musically gifted. And I have certainly enjoyed being part of their little lives and worlds, and it makes me feel like I have, I don't know, been in touch with some really good mojo, because you know that this kind of talent is a blessing. So it's always funny to look back on things and realize that 10, 15 years ago I was setting up the growth pattern for this. So we're going to just kind of get to appreciate his musical talent, look at everything kind of he can play. I think the only thing he's not going to play for us tonight is the drums, because of the sound quality. We will put those in videos for you. But we're going to kind of go through and let him play little snippets of some of his favorite things and stuff that he wants to share with you all. And I hope that you enjoy the time that you spend with him. And give us some good feedback. Give Jonah some good feedback. He's open to any kind of criticism to grow. So let's go ahead and bring him in. See if I get him in here. Here he comes. Let's add to the stream. we always know if you come into my stream, you must start out with a Queen song. So Jonah has paid his dues for this evening. He had to pay a Queen song for me first. So we're going to do just a little musical ramble with Jonah and let him tell us a little bit about himself. And I'm going to mute myself when he is speaking to make it better quality for you all. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to ask Jonah to tell us a little bit about the guitar, when he started kind of noting that was going to be his instrument, and to tell us some of his favorite things to play, and then to kind of show us what he's capable of. So Jonah, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Alrighty, well, thank you for having me. First off, my name is Jonah Wright. I'm 18. I've lived in Jamestown my entire life. It's always great to live in somewhat of a small town where everybody knows everybody. So you always have a helping hand. Or not, depending on who you meet. But I've been playing guitar almost 9 years. It'll be 9 years in a couple of weeks. And I've really enjoyed the instrument and the joy it's brought to me, from pulling me out of depression and just helping me grow as a person and not be, it helps me to release aggression where it needs to be released in a good, healthy way through music. And there's always been a passion of mine ever since I was a real little feller. When I was 4 and 5 years old, tuning an air guitar on the stage at church to, almost, 15, 16 years later, here I am actually playing the instrument. And I've been so grateful to learn how to play and grow as a musician through different instruments, different genres of music, and just all the different varieties of music that life has to offer to you. And just being able to play and maybe put a smile on somebody else's face, because it makes me happy to make other people happy. And I'm just glad to be able to do what I do.
Okay, let's hear some music. I'm dying to hear. What are you going to play for us first?
Well, maybe a little Van Halen.
Okay, let's go. Oh my goodness. Okay, so that was like part of Eruption, wasn't it?
Yes, yes, it was.
Okay, so tell everybody now. My son plays guitar, and but now the only thing that I literally can play and read music and do everything for is the alto sax. But I did play fiddle, mandolin, stuff like that. Um,
Sorry, got cut off there.
that's okay.
I
Tell
tried.
everybody what that's called when you tap to play.
Well, it depends. So, me personally, it's just like when you do it one-handed. So, say if I wanted to, it's called a hammer-on and a pull-off. So when
Okay.
you onto a note,
Now you make that look easy, but I know it's much more difficult because my son struggled with that for a long time.
so all it really is it's a hammer-on, which you hit the string hard enough to get it to make a noise, and then when you pull off, you're flicking the string to a different note. So it's basically a series of hammer-ons and pull-offs, but when done with two hands, you get what is called tapping. So
That's
and
amazing. So that's something that took Lane quite a while to get the momentum up because it you have to kind of know the resonance of the strings between the bridge, the space, the timing, all that stuff.
it's all about really articulation of which way you're going to flick the string, to which note you're on, to the volume of your tapping. Because like I can do this all day long, but if I don't do it hard enough, it's gonna sound awful. So you want to hit it hard enough to where you get a crisp note, but not too hard to where you throw the note out of tune. Say it may be too sharp, but you also have to know good finger placement and where your notes are, your majors and your minors and all that. I'm not really going to get into music theory because I don't even really know that much about it.
Well, that makes sense to me because when I played fiddle, of course, the fiddle has no frets, and so you have to absolutely know your finger placement for each specific note. So I get that completely.
I've tried playing fiddle, and good lord, it was
Yeah.
quite difficult. I still I haven't played it in a while. Excuse me. But my main things are the bigger stringed instruments, the ones that actually look normal and I don't look funny playing, because you got me, 260 something pounds and a little bitty fiddle up there. It's like, that don't look right. Um,
Well, that's probably what I look like too. So
but also just, I don't know exactly how to explain it other than just, it's a God-given gift, and it's taken
yeah.
a very, very, very long time. I'm not going to say to perfect, but to get to where I am with playing any of the instruments I do, because I'm a multi-instrumentalist. So there's guitar, bass, drums, piano, mandolin.
Now, who
And
are your biggest guitar idols? Who really spurred you in the guitar realm?
so honestly, it all started really. So I really started listening to music at home when my brother Jordan, who you've already interviewed, and talk to would just play songs on the piano and around the house, and I would steal his phone and listen to the music he had on there. Or, back in the day, God, back in the day, what am I, 70? Back when we used to burn CDs. And
Oh yeah, the proverbial mixtape.
yes, I think I actually have quite a few of the CDs that Jordan burned. Um, they're somewhere in the house, but I got introduced to music very early on in my life. And of course, before Jordan was born, Mom would sit there and put on CMT or something. And Lord, he'd just get to dancing in the womb. And they played everything in the book, any kind of thing. I just laid there. I'm naturally lazy, as I like to call it.
Oh.
And they never would have thought I would have come to something like this. And when I got introduced to rock, because I've always liked country, and then it got kind of old and boring. And then I started listening to stuff like AC/DC, Kiss, Aerosmith, and that was all thanks to my mom. And it kind of just began there. And I really started searching into like the real rock stuff, like Joe Perry, who's an incredible guitarist from Aerosmith, to Tony Iommi from Black Sabbath, to just all these different people. And then I started mellowing out a little bit more. And yeah, I play rock and I shred, but I really cut my teeth as a blues player. And that's all thanks to somebody who gave me a CD of a person named Stevie Ray Vaughan and Double Trouble. And the first song I listened to, it was the Essential Stevie Ray Vaughan and Double Trouble. I believe it was track 6 on disc 1. His cover of Little Wing by Jimi Hendrix. And it blew my friggin' mind. I was like, what and where in the hell do I begin? Because I was fascinated. And it just clicked. I'm like, I am going to do this. Because I really started taking guitar serious at 10. And of course, I do all the and whatever, but very basic stuff. And then I started listening to more and more complex music. And so when I found Stevie, I was flabbergasted. I mean, absolutely floored by just the raw power behind the music, his voice, the way the tone was, the guitar, and Tommy Shannon on bass, and even just the simple swing grooves laid down by Chris Layton. And later on, they really wanted to spice it up, I guess you could say, with a keyboardist named Reese Wines, I believe. And all that combined together from just 4 dudes from Texas, they played with so much feel you would think they were like a 13-piece band, and there was really just 4 of them, and they began as 3-piece. And I was like, at some point I am going to learn some of his music. And I did. And he is what really, really inspired me to take off and start playing. Also, sorry about my dog. But he's where I went, all right, it's a simple thing. I went from... I would take that and I would play it over and over and over and over. And even from a song called Voodoo Child, there was one part I'm like, I want to learn that, but I don't know if I can. And so I started from the beginning. And of course, it didn't sound anything like that at the time. But I took that and I went with it. And I learned it, went all the way into the rhythm, into the solo. And that's where it really kicked off. And I learned this one little bit. And I learned that. And I was like, yep, I am going to do something with this, hopefully for the rest of my life. And I went from there. And then more inspirations took over because I went from there to even harder stuff. I went on to more metal stuff. So I would be listening to Metallica, and I would learn some of their songs. Eventually, I was like, okay, this is cool. I like thrash. And I was like, what else is there? And I went on to find Five Finger Death Punch. I'm like, cool, they're incorporating screams. It's not too harsh, but it's like, I like that. And there was a point, Dad on the phone, just absolutely trash talking death metal. And now that is one of the most listened to genres by me. I was like, this is stupid. And then I started listening to a death metal band called Cannibal Corpse. I'm like, I'm going to give this a try just to get into it. I ended up listening to 2 full albums in one sitting. And I was like, okay, this is going somewhere. And then I discovered more bands like Slipknot. And then I got into like Manson. And throughout there, I found a little subgenre of death metal called deathcore. And that's where Whitechapel comes into play. They are one of my all-time favorite deathcore bands. I got to see them a couple months ago, and luckily, in December, I will get to see the pioneers of death metal, in my opinion. I get to see Cannibal Corpse, and I'm very, very excited. And I would take all those bands, and I would single out their guitars and listen to them one by one. And I'd pick up a little bit each time. Whether it be in E standard tuning or friggin' drop Q, whatever it is, I would sit there, I would listen to it, I would pick it apart, and I would try to learn some of it. And that goes for James Hetfield, Kirk Hammett, Eddie Van Halen,
Brian May.
Brian, yes. Um, Lord, there's so many. I mean, obviously Stevie, and just all those people. Even a little bit of Alex Lifeson from Rush. I would take a little bit from him just in some of my little quick little noodles or whatever. And it just all rushed to me at once. And I'm so grateful that over the past 9 years I've been able to pick up and learn so much and physically watch my progression on the instrument and picking up more instruments along the way. Sorry if I kind of rambled.
Oh no, I've enjoyed it because basically, yeah, that's what I saw as you grew up. Now, for most of y'all, I've kind of been present Jonah's entire life. I taught clogging. He never physically went to clogging class with me because he was too young, but I had his older brother, so I've always been like a satellite in your life. And, and Jordan and I were always super close, so that we just have always been in each other's lives. That's how I become a bonus mom to everyone. I think I'm just everybody's bonus mom. But I'll have you know that this young man, when I'm having sick spells or been in the hospital or having a really rough time, he would learn a new Brian May solo and send it to me on video to perk me up and to get me through rough times. So this young man has been a huge influence to me when I've been going through some of the worst health issues that I've had the last few years. So I always want to celebrate him because of his talent, because he has always taken the time to say, hey, Mama Liz, I hope you're feeling better. So right now, I want you to kind of shred a little bit. Tell us what's something that you want to play for us. Tell us a little bit about what you're going to play for us.
Well, ever since I heard Brian May's guitar tone, I was like, there's absolutely no friggin' way I can get this tone unless I have the Red Special, which, by George, at some point I'm going to get one. But I figured out a little secret because I'm smart sometimes. But it works especially well for guitars like Les Pauls and SGs and stuff. With a coil split, which means, so these are humbuckers, and basically they're 2 single coils. And when you pull the knob, the humbuckers will split into 1 single coil. And I have an SG here that'll do that, but I just restrung this and I haven't played it in a while, so I'm going to give it some love. I'll pick that one up here in a little bit. But I figured out if you put your toggle switch or blade, whatever you want to call it, which switches the pickups, So for this one, it has a three-way because it has three-way switch, I might add. Sorry. Um, in the back position, you have this bridge pickup. In the middle, you have them both. And in the third position, you have the neck. So what I would do is on my SG or my Les Paul, I would throw it in the middle, and I would split the bridge humbucker and roll the bridge tone completely off. For this, I just have one control. So I'm going to turn my tone off, leave it in the middle, so I can get tones like this. And I was like, holy crap, I'm really close. So I put it to the ultimate test with one of my all-time favorite guitar solos from Brian May, which is Bohemian Rhapsody. And so on and so forth.
That is actually so close to the kind of reverberation sound that the Red Special has, and nobody else has gotten, for me, has gotten that close. So yeah, you've got a really good ear, and everybody's amazed at your playing in the text in the comment section. I've got one question for you. There's Sue Soul Sister is asking, what do you think of? I guess it's TJA, Jaw Ferrant. This is the little boy in Australia that is on Australia's Got Talent that is making such a big kaboom right now. And they're calling him a guitar prodigy. Have you heard of him? And apparently he was on the Ellen DeGeneres show a year or so ago.
Don't kill me, but I don't really watch TV anymore.
Taj or Taj, I don't know how to say his name. Taj Ferrant. Well, I'm going to be introducing you. We're going to look this young man up and go through all of his videos, because apparently that's who people are equivocating you with him.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I haven't heard of him because if I watch TV, I'm on like Hulu or Netflix or something. I don't watch programs like that anymore, or else I'm sure even I could have heard of him through Instagram and social media, but I haven't yet. So I'm sure I could find it very easily.
Yeah, we'll be looking him up and looking through that, because definitely want to know about that young boy as well. Anybody with extreme talent we want to know about.
Absolutely.
And they're wanting to make sure you are just completely self-taught.
It all started, well, like I said, when I was real little, and then I got my first guitar. And the only thing I knew was like power chords. So I would sit there and just write stuff. And I could kind of tell I was going to write heavy stuff already, because even on an acoustic, I was like. And I just started teaching myself stuff. And I would sit there, and of course, with the help of YouTube, I would get it. And I remember the first proper riff I learned, which was a little riff, I believe, written by Joe Perry, called Walk This Way. And I learned that, and I don't want to brag, but I was very, very proud of myself then, of course, because I was like, I was 10. And I was like, I am going to do something with this. And I just kept learning and teaching myself new techniques to do stuff, because people would do it one way, and I'd be like, I'm going to try it a different way. And I'd teach myself how to do different things. And I somewhat sort of taught myself. It was a mode that already existed, but I didn't know it existed. And I started playing like that. And I've been trying to teach myself as much as I can. And of course, always, if I need help, there's the internet. I love the internet. and I would go through and I would look at tabs, and tabs is short for tablature. I can kind of read music, but tabs help a lot.
Oh yeah, tabs are like what are those cliff notes of the
Kind
books?
of.
Yeah, I love, yeah, and even I can read tabs. And they had tabs
So
for fiddle and mandolin as well. They were great cheater notes.
yeah, so like it's easier for guitar because it'll have your strings lined out essentially, and from bottom to top it was E to E. Of course, the bottom line being your low, and your top line being your high E. And it would put the numbers in order. And I was like, what are these numbers? And I got to look and I'm like, oh, those are frets. And so it'd be like 5, 6, like 5, 6, 3. I'm like, all right. And together with it, so you'd have your 5, 6, 3, which is, and with that would be 7, 8, and 5 on your next string down. So you would have a power chord, and so you would get the. And I started reading tabs. I'm like, this is cool. I don't need YouTube anymore.
Yeah, that's
I
how I
like.
learned to play violin, was by ear my tabs. Yeah, that's. I've got somebody here that's got a question. Southpaw has a question. Wants to know if you play in a band.
I really wish I did. I had a drummer. We were a little two-piece, kind of. He played drums, and I played guitar and sang. And we kept getting booked at a show as the house band. We played a 9/11 memorial, and he come up and was like, would you guys like to play at the show? I'm like, absolutely. And so we got some stuff together, and we sent it to him. We had to send him the set list, and to make sure it was PG, and it didn't matter anyway. But we kept getting booked and booked and booked. I was like, sweet, we keep getting these bookings, but he never let us play. We played one show. We played a 45-minute set for the Doors as they opened, and then during intermissions, we played two 25-minute sets. So we got, like over 2 hours of playing time, roughly, uh, or almost 2 hours. And I believe the reason he kept booking us and not letting us play, there was always trouble at the show anyway. There would always have something go wrong, which that's not an issue. But if you're hindering us from playing and entertaining your people that you're bringing in here, that is a problem. But we understand that stuff goes wrong. I believe we partially kind of messed it up ourselves because for their intro, it was "For Whom the Bell Tolls" by Metallica, and they would always cut it off at the worst time, in my opinion. It was right before it got to the. And I was like, we're doing it. And so my buddy learned it on drums, and I learned it on guitar. Sorry, I had to tune that. And we played the full song. Of course, that full song's like 5 minutes long. So we shortened it down a little bit. I didn't really play a solo. I just kind of went through the verses and through the choruses. And of course, it's a lot easier because I was playing in D standard and I'm in E standard. And so, and the cool thing for me was I get to that part and I'm like, for whom the bell tolls, time marches on. For whom the bell tolls. And I could see people out there kind of getting into it. I was like, I'm entertaining people. This is what I want to do for a living, is bring people this joy of music. And I think we kind of got yelled at for playing the entire song because that's what they use as their intro. I'm like, well, yeah.
Oh, so y'all got really into the energy and kind of.
Oh yeah, we loved it. We played it because I was like, dang, it's their intro. It shouldn't be a problem. Boy, was I wrong.
Okay, so we've got some more questions. Sue Soul Sister wants to know where you're from, and he did say this at the beginning. He is from our little Podunk area on the Cumberland Plateau in Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Yep, Jamestown, Tennessee. And they want to know if you know how to play anything what they call the loop guitar. I have no idea what that is.
If you're talking about a looper, yes, I do have a loop pedal. If that is what you're talking about. Sadly, if I'm on the channel I'm on now, I can play something, loop it, and it's like, cool, I can sit here and let it loop all night. But I can't really play anything over it because it sounds god awful. But if I am on a clean channel, yeah, I can put little harmonies on stuff. I actually posted to Facebook and to my Snapchat when our queen, Betty White, died. I ended up learning, I played the chords over top of it and I laid that melody down. And so it was kind of funny because I'd have to play it until I got it right. And I'd be sitting there just going, thank you for being a friend. And when I did that, I'd get it all together. I'm like, cool, let's find harmonies. And I found them and I ended up doing all that. And it sounded really great. I was like, I want to make a rock version of this. I did it and it sounded awful. So yeah, I do use a loop pedal, but it's mainly for clean guitar.
Okay, well, I do understand the pedal because Lane had a pedal board and that thing drove me nuts. So I understand that now.
I really hope that's what you're asking. If not, let me know.
Okay, so everybody's like, oh, wow, he can sing too. He's got a voice too. Yes, this is a multi-talented young man right here. This is my bonus child.
Yeah, God, how long have I been? I've been always trying to sing ever since I was real little, but I really started letting my voice go probably when I was about 13, 14, and just really started belting it out. I mean, like, I'd be up at 3 a.m. Just singing. I can hear Mom from the other end of the house just going, shut the hell up. I'm like, sorry, whatever, I was like, I'm having fun, all right?
So you went with me what year to the, which year did you go with me to the Queen Convention?
I believe it was 2018.
Was it Michigan or Ohio? Which one was it?
I believe it was 2018.
That was the Michigan one, right?
I don't know.
Was that Ohio? I can't. Anyway, he went with me, yeah. And we do like a band and then a cover band and then they'll open up karaoke. But what ended up happening was Jonah and Jordan both sang karaoke, and they sang so well that everybody else at karaoke was like scared to get on the floor in karaoke for like a half hour. So they started the karaoke show, and then the karaoke show froze because everybody's like, wait, they still doing cover bands? And then everybody else finally started coming into karaoke. So they thought they were professional singers, which they are in their own right. So let's see. You want to play us something else on the guitar, or do you want to move forward? What do you want to do right now?
I don't really mind. I mean, if they would like to request anything they'd like to hear, if I don't know it, I'll tell you. I apologize if I don't know it, but if you want to throw something out there and I know it, I'll slap it down for you.
Okay, well, let's give them a minute to get any and all requests in, but do you have something you can play for a second while they get those requests in?
Absolutely. Thank you, Sir Dimebag Darrell. Very, very big inspiration in my life.
Oh, we've already got a Stevie Ray pop up as well, so just letting you know.
All right, but Dimebag, the man I listened to learn pinch harmonics, or otherwise known as squills. Cemetery Gates, one of my favorite songs to play. I remember learning that, and I blew my own mind because I was like, I did it! I was just always real happy about learning stuff like that.
That's actually one of my favorite songs to jam out to, is Cemetery Gates.
With my guitar or my screaming. So.
Okay, somebody is saying Pride and Joy. Do you know that song?
Yeah, I'd really like to change that. You know what? Yeah, I'll do it on acoustic real quick because I'm
gonna guitar costume change.
Yeah, I do have that present with me. I am in a different key. I hope this works, but. a little baby. I met a little love boy. Won't keep them kind of short and sweet so I can get some more stuff in.
Oh, that was great. I think you just stunned everybody by doing that. So, someone threw up the obvious "Nothing Else Matters" from Metallica. It's like a cult classic at this point. That's what I grew up on.
This guitar isn't in the most perfect tune, so sorry about that.
And how many? Okay, I'm blind. How many strings you got going on there?
Okay. I was making sure none of these were popping up, but this is just a simple 6-string guitar.
Okay, I was looking, and I'm blind right now because, as everyone knows, I just had my eye appointment. I'm waiting on my glasses. I swear I was hearing 12-string vibes there, and I guess it was just you working your magic. That was amazing.
No, I have exactly like this, but in green, and it is out of commission at the minute because I need to have it restrung. It is awful.
Yeah, 12 strings are pretty particular instruments. I've got someone that is going. Here's a twist: More Than Words by Extreme. I remember that.
Oh God, how's it go?
I'm saying that's a win because how old are you?
I'm 18.
Hey, y'all. I remember that song when I was that age. So, I'm impressed that you even knew that much of it.
Who has been featured on the channel. He really knows it, and he's like, "How about I play it and you and Jordan sing it?" I was like, "That's great. I'll just have to learn it and really warm my voice up because I am technically a baritone, so I can sing tenor and bass. But on good days, I have filled in for sopranos and choir."
So you kind of sing it all. Now we've got everybody's amazed that you got that one. Okay, we've got. Oh, they're asking for Iron Maiden.
I was waiting for it.
Oh dear Lord, we might ought to pray about this.
Harmonies with it.
All right, let's just turn them loose. You were waiting for that. Okay, now while you've got.
I'm gonna run to the hills.
While you've got that one in your hand, they're saying any Skinnerd.
Absolutely. Oh, my volume work. Who am I kidding? Excuse me!
That was amazing. I'm a huge Skinnerd fan as well. My favorite Skinnerd song is Curtis Lowe.
It's one I've yet to learn.
I love Curtis Lowe. Okay, let's switch you back. Because you wouldn't be my bonus child if you didn't know a little bit of bluegrass. So let's switch you back. Somebody's saying, "Can he play bluegrass?" Oh, y'all, just wait for this. He's from the Cumberland Plateau. Y'all know he can pick and grin.
Sort of. I am very, very bad at bluegrass. I've learned like one thing, but
play the song you played for me last week.
I don't remember. I ain't slept in 7 days, haven't eaten 3. Methamphetamine has got a damn good hold of me. My sweet friends have got me to the point of no return. I just took a lighter to the bulb and watch it burn. It's life of sin, it's got me in. Lord, it's got me back in prison once again. I just only phone call to contact my daddy. Got 20 long years for some dust in the backseat.
That's I think one of my favorite things that I've heard you sing. And I know that bluegrass is not your like go-to, but I think your voice does so beautifully with it. Everybody says Billy Strings in the house. That was funny. So anyone? Sue Soul sister is asking, do you know any Blackberry Smoke songs?
I don't.
I don't either. Now I'm gonna have to check them out. I'm gonna go back and be making notes because
I
I love it when I learn new stuff.
definitely heard of them. Blackberry Smoke. Oh my God, they used to have a song. I remember one song that was by them. I think I cannot remember the name of it. But yeah, the only time I really listened to country was when I was with Dad, and now country's pretty much out the window for me because it's all trash to me now. I do not like. Oh Lord, excuse me. I do not like any of the newer country. Now I will listen to Chris Stapleton, one of my favorite country artists. I mean George Jones, George Strait.
Yeah, you go like prime time or old school. But yeah, I agree that the new country is not what country is supposed to be anymore.
It's hip hop at this point, which I
Yes.
love. Don't get me wrong. One of my favorite rappers is Tupac. I love Tupac. But I mean, to me, it's unlistenable too. Just like, well, it's an opinion. Music is a very, very, very opinion-based platform. Like, I don't like country. Not a lot of people I know love death metal. So, I mean, it's all in what you like.
Yeah, it's very subjective, and I guess we're lucky that we kind of have gone through all the different genres growing up, and we kind of appreciate little pieces of everything.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, I've listened to Queen here and there. I was like, haha, yeah, whatever. It's like, We Will Rock You. It's like, that's the main one I knew. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't know half the stuff I do about Queen now.
Yeah, and then I come along and I'm like, no, you've got to listen to Dragon Tack. No, you've got to. I really am. That sounded pretty good acoustic as well. I'm surprised. Okay. Yeah, there's a few. There's people. There's a few decent new country artists. Like we're starting to see it come back to the old school country singers.
Outlaw.
And but it's been a long time coming. Like 80s and early 90s country is the last of the country that I truly enjoyed.
Yeah, I mean, the newer school stuff is definitely Chris Stapleton. I will listen to him all day, every day if somebody made me, and I would enjoy it. But once we start getting back to that almost outlaw, like Hank Jr. and stuff like that, and Hank Williams,
Yeah,
I mean,
that's where my soul sits.
I mean, like, even if I don't like him, I will sit and listen to it and be like, okay, some of his songs are good, you know? And when I listen to Chris Stapleton, I'm like, that's not just country. That's R&B. That's soul. That's, rhythm and blues, rock.
Yeah,
I mean,
it touches every heart.
I mean, you go from, Tennessee whiskey. You're as sweet as strawberry wine. Here's one glass of brandy. Honey, I stay strong on your love all the time. You hear that? Soul.
Yeah, that's
about it. Country soul. But
that could go any way.
Yeah, and you go listen to another song on his album, on that same album, I believe. It's called Midnight Train to Memphis. Well, the judge looked down, gave me 40 days. And still found that I could not pay. He said, well, all right, you'll soon be home. can lie, you'll be on your own. Rock, country rock. There's so many different genres and subgenres within one album of Chris Stapleton's. It's absolutely incredible.
And we were actually discussing, well, I'll tell on us. We were actually discussing the other night. He came over to help me make fur palms because y'all know the struggle I have with that.
Now my hands hurt.
Yes, I know. And we decided that if we ever did a pick and grin version of any song, I wanted to do Amy Winehouse's You Know That I'm No Good. I think that would be a beautiful bluegrass song.
It would.
And I think we need to turn it into a bluegrass song.
I'll have to learn it. I don't know when I can, but I'll have to.
I'm totally open. I will sing harmony. I'm there for you.
Yeah. Surprisingly, I'm not even lying. I was on TikTok because, good God, is that a time-wasting app that I love. I found this dude who has the most wild range I've ever heard. I mean, he can get way, like, Freddie high, but he can also get down to, like, Oak Ridge Boys low, and I was like, there's no way. And Barbershop Quartet, holy crap. If you haven't listened to just, like, somebody sing, like, just them, and they loop it and do the 4 parts, listen to somebody do Barbershop Quartet, and you will be like, wow, why wasn't I appreciating this earlier?
Oh, yeah, they're amazing.
Oh, it's incredible.
Anybody that's got the skill to basically just do everything in 4-part harmony, I'm like, okay, I am completely amazed every time I listen to Home Free sing a cappella.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I've been to see them twice now.
And I haven't listened to them in a while, but last time I did, I was like, whoa, I was blown away. Of course, that was like 6th, 7th grade, so that was in the form where I was, you know, nothing but like 5-Finger Death Punch and all the kind of stuff, you know?
Yeah, I got to those phases as well, but I purely think Tim Faust is one of the most gifted men with his voice, that bass voice. He's gifted.
I wouldn't even call him a baritone or anything. He's almost a true bass.
Yeah, he's a true. I mean, he made the whole Tennessee Theater rattle that night, and I was so impressed with him. So impressed with him.
I wish I could do that. On a good day, I can get down to an E, and that's about all you're gonna get.
Somebody asked, your Sioux Soul sister asked, what is your favorite song by Tool?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say it.
It's probably mine.
I actually went through and listened to like one of their full albums and like got confused and didn't realize how to headbang. You know, prog, right? But it's either Schism or Prison Sex is one of my 2 favorite Tool songs.
Okay, so I like Schism, but I have to say that every time Sober comes on, I don't care where I am, I have a quiet moment of just like internal, like therapeutic reflection.
I'm sure I've heard it, but I haven't listened to a Tool song all the way through because, good God, some of their songs are 17 minutes long. I was like, what is this, American Pie? So calm down. But the last one I really listened to was actually Schism. And that was 7, 8 months ago. That's the last time I've really listened to Tool. But Maynard, God, what's his first name? I can't think of it.
But is he not a crazy person, but he is like crazy in all the right ways?
I've watched this man. So a fan got on stage and he put them in a chokehold, threw them to the ground, and sat on them and finished singing the song.
And yes, he would finish every song, and he didn't care what he was doing. He finished every song.
It was a 6-minute song, and he kept that dude in a chokehold. I'm like, well, he's going to die. But, you know, you got to do what you got to do. Of course, now they're just letting people walk up on stage and do whatever they want. Go back to whatever the friggin' awards was. You see what happens there. Which, of course, in my wrestling brain, I think is a work, but who knows?
It could be.
I don't know.
It could be.
There's been too many things happen on stage to people. I'm like, I'm scared to perform, but at the same time, bring it. I'm a big guy. I may not hold my own, but, you know, I'll be there. I'll do it.
We've got somebody recommending Bob Marley's Concrete Jungle. The guitar solo is fire on the live. Have you heard of that before?
I haven't. The last song I listened to by Bob Marley was Could You Be Loved and Be Loved? And that's the last one I've listened to.
So I just want to interject right now that if Ryan Upchurch watched this, I would like a finder fee for finding this young man.
um, but no, I don't listen to a lot of reggae. If I do, I have to be in a mood. That or I just better be in the clouds relaxed, because if I've had a hard day, I'm listening to metal. But if I've had a pretty chill day and just kind of laying around, yeah, I might listen to a little bit of reggae. But other than that, no. I've been listening Whitechapel the past couple days is what I've been listening to.
Would you want to sing? Do you have anything prepared by them that you want to share with us? I've heard your growly voice. I know you can do all that.
I can't really play it and sing it at the same time, but cool. I get to play my 6/7 string. You get that? They probably don't. I have a 7 string, and I broke the high E string like a dummy. So now it's technically a 6 string. Oh God, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but as soon as I got this guitar, I opened it and put a huge scratch in it. Christmas Day.
That's just called breaking it in.
Yeah, I'll actually break this out later. This is too much struggle. I'll pick that one up here in a minute. But some of my favorite songs, by far, "The Saw Is the Law." I'm actually going to get that as a tattoo at some point. It's just their logo. It's a saw blade with the Tennessee Stars, because they are a deathcore band based out of Knoxville, Tennessee. And I got to see them while they were on tour with As I Lay Dying. And I lost my house key in a mosh pit. So I was like, yay!
And okay, give us the name of that band again.
Whitechapel.
But the one that
England or wherever it's at, but Whitechapel.
And the name of the song?
"The Saw Is the Law."
Okay, definitely everybody's got to check that out.
Yeah, because I mean, you hear this real killer guitar intro, a couple chugs, and then all you hear is, "This is our way of life."
See, y'all, his voice does everything. It freaks me out. The first time I ever heard him do that, I was like, hello, that's a new Jonah. Someone here is saying, do you name your guitars?
I used to. Do I remember the names? No. That's a lie. This one is Cherry, for obvious reasons.
That was way too easy. I named my taxidermy, so surely you name your guitars.
Well, I mean, this is Cherry. I haven't really come up with a name for my SG yet. If I did, it'd probably be like its color, but I can't say it because I'd end up getting canceled because it sounds racist.
Yeah, let's not do that. I've already made YouTube mad today once.
Yeah, but I mean, some of them I have no clue. I used to. I don't remember the names for them, but like, I have no clue.
Sue Soul Sister wants to know if you like Gwar, which I find funny because every time I listen to Gwar, or look at the word Gwar, I remember an old shirt that I used to have that had Napoleon Dynamite's face superimposed, and it said Gwarsh.
Oh my God. Yes and no. I've never really listened to Gwar, but if you sit me down, put headphones on, it's like, this is Gwar. I'd be like, yeah, I'll listen to him. That was never my forte. I mean, I'm not going to say they're overrated because their stage presence is friggin' immense or intense, because they're aliens and they have giant body parts flying everywhere, which I'm like, I want to go to that show.
They are a strange lot, yes.
Well, Otis Arungus, the old vocalist, passed away, and now they've got this new guy. I believe, I think they're putting a statue of him somewhere. I don't know. But no, I never really got into them much. I don't even know where to classify them.
Cindy says they're better live.
I'm sure. It's kind of like, I don't listen to them a ton, but I'd like to see them live. Same thing with Rammstein. I love Rammstein, though.
Yeah.
I would like to see them live, even though I don't understand the words.
Well, I'm just going to fill in. Everybody's talking. I'm going to fill in. I had the Gwarsh t-shirt, and I had the Lamb of Gouache, too, that had the Napoleon Dynamite face. I was really into those t-shirts. Let's see. Someone is saying, they're saying, I want to show this to one of our good friends. His first cousin is Philip Sweet in Little Big Town. Awesome. Philip graduated with my little sister. Good family and all talented. Little Big Town has got some of the best harmonies in a long, long time that I've heard.
Haven't listened to him in a long time, but yeah, when I did, wow.
Oh, I will still listen to Pontoon and what is it,
That's it. That's
Tornado and.
but yeah, as far as genres, I just play a lot of aggressive music, and it really depends on my mood. Like I had a very very bad day yesterday, and so I picked up my 7 string and started chugging. Which, for anybody that doesn't know, chugging is when you palm mute and just play very aggressively and hard and fast. Stuff like that. I just
Yeah,
play.
Lane
Huh?
did that a lot. Okay, so Sue Soul Sister is asking, what do you think about John 5 of Rob Zombie?
Oh my god. Um, his guitar work is incredible. But one of my favorite John 5 songs is "Behind the Nut Love." But um, it sounds like a lap steel, but it's not. It's just his telly. It's just his Telecaster, and he bends the strings behind the nut. I'm not going to do that because I just put new strings on this. But if you haven't heard "Behind the Nut Love," definitely check it out. It is incredible. It is a very very smooth country ballad, pretty much, with no vocals. It's just guitar and drums. I think bass. I don't know. I haven't listened to it in a little while, but it is insane. And John 5's warm ups all like helps me. It helps me a lot.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. And that song for me is like it's a mental meandering. Like you start the song, and by the time you end it, your mind has taken a walk in all the places you needed to go to get like everything out of your system. That I love those songs.
If I may, is a musical Xanax to me because I listen to it. I'm like, I sit back on the couch, I just relax. I do my little breathing technique I do to help me relax and calm down if anything happens. And I just kind of sink into the couch and almost meditate in a way and just
Oh
listen.
yeah, it connects you with a higher power.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It's the Sue Soul Sister is also saying, and I'm gonna give a little blurb on this before I let you enter. What about Chris Cornell? Now, if anybody has ever seen my tattoos on my left arm, if you look right above the bend of my arm, right above all my Freddy tattoos, right just left of my elbow, I have Chris Cornell's signature on me because Chris Cornell to me is one of the most awesome people that ever came out of the grunge era that had the most beautiful mind and soul and voice. So I'm a Chris Cornell fanatic. So I'm going to turn it over to you. What do you think about Chris Cornell?
I'm sad. Um, no words really. Just emotion is all I ever felt when I heard him play or sing. The amount of grit and power in his voice, as well as other great grunge people like Kurt Cobain, Eddie Vedder. Of course, you can understand everybody else more than him, but
You've got to do your Eddie Vedder impersonation.
but as far as Chris goes, I was very very sad to hear what happened.
I was at work. I was a mental health therapist that had to take a moment and cry in the back room.
I think I was at school. I just got home from school and I checked my phone. I was like, oh my god. I was highly highly upset. Because I never really got into Soundgarden much, and then I started listening. No, that's a lie. First Soundgarden song I've ever heard was Spoon Man, and I'm a very very old soul and a young body that feels 70 but isn't. If you're listening and you like professional wrestling, it's cool to watch. Don't do it; it hurts. But I remember listening to Spoon Man on an old PlayStation 2 game called ATV Off-Road Fury. And that's a lot of where my music taste had to come from. Because I would listen to Spoon Man, and then I would listen to, well, Jerry Was a Race Car Driver by Primus. Which, at the age of like 12, listening to Primus, I was like, what the hell is this? You know?
Oh
And
God, I love Promise.
can't understand him either. But that's when I first heard Soundgarden, and never listened to much Audio Slave. I believe that was his other band. It was him and Tom Morello, I
Yeah,
think.
Audio Slave is one of my favorites. Actually, if Show Me How to Live and Cochise and Like a Stone comes on, I will sit and never change the radio for all three. Just like sit like I'm in church.
Yeah, my two favorite Soundgarden songs are definitely Spoon Man and Black Hole Sun. Those were always, they bring me peace. Spoon Man was always like, yeah, it makes me want to go. And then I listen to Black Hole, and I'd be sitting in my car just swaying. And like, I'm sure I'd be stopping at like a stop sign or a red light, and people just hear out of my car, just him and me just going, Black Hole Sun, won't you come and wash away the rain? Black hole sun, won't you come? Won't you come? Won't you come?
Yeah,
One,
that's one of my favorite songs.
it also puts me in a state of illusion, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Also, I watched the video for the first time when I was like 13. That freaked me out.
Trippy is kind of trippy. That was when I was growing up.
Take acid, but it feels like it.
I think, yeah, I've never done that, and I don't recommend anyone do that. But I imagine that's
From
what
what
the world you would be in would be like. Sue's soul sister actually said she got to see Chris Cornell 7 days before his last show, so she got to see him a week before he passed away, and it's so sad. I was so upset. But Sue also wants to know if there's a band you have not seen that you want to see live.
I've seen very few bands live. My very first concert was APB, also known as Artemis Pyle Band, which of course my mother and grandmother took care of his mom while he was on the road with Skinnerd.
Yeah, Artemis is a local boy.
I mean, I love Artemis. Good old, I ain't gonna say his real name. But, you know, he grew up in Pall Mall and all around Jamestown and Allert and stuff like that. And that was the first concert down at the fairgrounds. I was like, that's cool. April 11th or something like that of 2019, my dad took me to see Kiss in Nashville. For the price, you'd think you get better seats, but I was 3 rows from the top, and their pyro was so friggin' hot I could feel it all the way up there, and it was awesome. And for Paul Stanley to be like 70, he still did a bunch of dumb shit that he probably shouldn't have done. He flew over the crowd on like a little glider thing to get to a little bitty stage. I was like, that's cool. But also be careful. But I've seen them. And then my next concert after that was the most recent one. Sorry, not most recent. Well, a couple of months ago was Of Sulphur, Shadow of Intent, Whitechapel, and As I Lay Dying. Sadly, I left before As I Lay Dying came on because I just got done getting hit in the face with a cell phone out of the pit, and I was like, I'm hungry and want to go. So me and my buddy, we went to Wendy's, and I ate the most awesome barbecue bacon burger. It was awesome. And then 2 weeks after that show, I went to Nashville and watched Motley Crue, Joan Jett, Poison, and Def Leppard, and another their opener band. I can't remember who it was. I do not remember their Classless Act, I believe. They were incredible. Poison sadly did not play because Bret Michaels was in the hospital at the time. But Joan Jett was great. Def Leppard was great. Obviously, Motley Crue was great. I was real scared going into it because I was like, we're either going to get really fat, bad Vince Neil, or we're going to get really good, skinny Vince Neil. I got kind of lucky. We got like, middleweight, mediocre Vince Neil. It wasn't bad. It was a lot of fun. And then, like I said, in December, I get to see Cannibal Corpse and I think one or two others. But bands I would really enjoy to see, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Double Trouble. Obviously, I can't because Stevie passed away in 1990. August 27th, I believe, or August 25th, something like that. And, well, bands that are still around that I'd like to see. Metallica before they retire. If Slayer comes back, I'd like to see them. I want to see Lamb of God. I'd like to go see Chris Stapleton. Mainly a lot of horror bands like Slipknot. Like, obviously, I'm not going to go to, like, a jazz club or anything. That's not my style. Unless you catch me on a good day listening to Kenny G. But
Hey, never say never, because you know something? A few years ago when I was watching the internet, somebody sent me a link and I thought it was a little Italian man. And I said, look at that little cute Italian man. And then my husband said, I think that's a woman. It was LP, Laura Pergolesi. And then I said, look at that little cute Italian woman. She can sing like none other. And I've seen her 2 or 3 times now live. And the best band I ever saw live was Queen back in, I think it was 2017 or 18 when they came to Nashville. I had front row seats. I was 7 foot away from Brian May playing his Bo Rap solo, and I was about I was like, take me now, Lord, I'm done. It doesn't get any better. And see, we knew how to buy tickets because she was like, where do we need to get our tickets? And I was like, in front of his pedal board, because that's where he'll have to physically be the most of the night. And I nailed it. He was 7 foot from me the majority of the night. But I've seen LP several times, and Laura Pergolesi can sing. And I never would have thought that I would get into that genre of music. But when I hear her sing Muddy Waters, you might as well be in church. And she had an opener in Nashville one time, and by the name of Georgie K. And her song Lone Wolf is one of my favorite songs that have just, I mean, I learned it at the concert, went home and searched for it, found it, and it's like on every playlist I have now. So it's amazing what you can get introduced to and what will stick.
the very song that I was introduced to by LP was Tokyo Sunrise. And I heard that, and excuse me, but like I metaphorically and musically shit a brick. I was like, what is this? And I was like, oh my God. And just everything about that song, the crescendos, the decrescendos, the ups and downs, holy crap, it blew me away. Has a voice like no other.
Okay, I'm going through the chat here, and I think somebody was saying Carlos Santana. You know any Carlos Santana?
I think. I think that's part of Black Magic Woman, and that's the only bit of Santana I know.
Somebody's saying Carlos Santana, Soul Sacrifice, Woodstock. Was it Woodstock? Soul Sacrifice. We'll have to look that up. Let's see here. Someone's saying, have y'all ever heard of Beth Hart? Now, I'm a face person because I worked with mugshots my whole life, so I have to see a face.
What was the name?
Beth Hart.
At first, I heard Bret Hart. I was like, yeah, I know him. But no, Beth Hart, no, I don't.
She's from LA, and she was around the late 1990s, and she had that Screaming for My Supper album. Let's see here.
A lot of the stuff I listened to from the 90s was a lot of like, not really much of Metallica because they were just kind of at that point.
Do your Eddie Vedder impression.
I was about to say. Okay, so here's funny. When we were making palms the other night, like for like 10 minutes, all he did was talk to me like Eddie Vedder, and I was like, "What did you say? Huh? What?" Huh? Okay, everybody's doing a throwback to Guns N' Roses. You know any GNR? Surprisingly enough, with the Brian May tone, you get really close to November Rain.
That was like, I mean, that I feel old now because that's
not,
such a
not,
my
not
day.
but close enough to the solo.
Denise is in here dropping some old school like Nazareth hair of the dog stuff. Yeah, that's
I haven't, but I love it.
that's it. Like, I grew up with that too. And of course, do you know anything about Ted Nugent?
Oh. The only two I know.
I think they're just trying to test you to see how well rounded you are at the ripe old age of 18. And she
I've
says, "Make that guitar talk."
I've been around the block musically. Um, I try to listen to everything. Keyword try.
Yeah, and we all have, like, we know someone in our group. We all have very eccentric music tastes.
Yeah, I tend to lean towards one genre more than the other, but then again, that also depends on the day.
Now, you actually do have a very famous person that does keep tabs on you, and you met them when you were with me. But tell everybody who follows your Instagram and checks on you about every day.
Peter Freestone, otherwise known as Phoebe. My God, towers over me. I'm 5'9", and I'm like, hey, how you doing? You know, walking Xanax, as you put it. One of the nicest men I've ever met. Of course, was around helping Freddie for God, how many years?
Yeah,
Quite a,
the last 12, you took care of him as he passed away.
yeah. I mean, such a lovely person. First Brit I've ever met. And of course, I butchered play the game at the convention. I was like, oh crap. But
You did very good.
he was clapping away. But I was like, okay, as long as I didn't piss him off, I'm good. I say butchered because I hold myself to a high standard to be able to do better. But then again, it was the first time doing karaoke. But now definitely I would hold myself to a high standard because I'm not bragging, but I do know what I'm capable of. Because like I screwed it all up. I'm like, I don't remember how this goes until it got to everybody play the game. And I was like, I know that part.
Yeah, you hit that note perfectly every time. I was so proud of you. And Phoebe, he does, he keeps up. I talk to him about twice a week, but I noticed that he routinely is checking on you and Jordan, and he's very excited about where y'all are going to end up.
I haven't talked to him actually in a few months. I need to text him, and well, of course, I don't know what time it is over in Prague.
Well, it's actually in the morning, so he's probably good. He's actually getting to play bonus uncle to Milan's new addition, the baby that was just born about 3 weeks ago. So
I didn't know that. Oh, congrats, I guess, if he watches.
Yeah, he's very happy right now. He's getting to play bonus uncle, so be a good time to contact him, say howdy. Southpaws wants to know, how many guitars do you have?
Too many to count. Probably around 18 to 20.
And
including basses.
Eckert Terrell says a Grand Funk Railroad. Do you know any Grand? Is that a reach for you?
Oh God. We're an American band. Or is that something else? Is that them? Grand Funk Railroad?
Oh my gosh, my brain goes back to a plethora of melodies that I could assign to them, but I don't know if it's them or not.
I believe We're an American Band is Grand Funk Railroad. I know it, but I don't know it, or at least I don't think it.
He says that's them. Another Sue Cell sister wants to know, are you familiar with Whiskey Myers?
Can't get into them. I've listened and listened and listened. I can't find it. I just, sadly, but like I've had a lot of people who's like, oh, I love them. I'm just like, I can't get into it.
Oh, Toto Africa. Oh my gosh, that is like family theme song. And they have no idea how much we have made jokes about that song and sang that song and sent memes to each other about that song.
I hear the drums echoing tonight. Yeah, I love that song. It never gets old.
I don't think I've ever heard a rendition of that song that I would not sit down and listen to. It's a great song, but it's also one I love to just rag on really hard.
A metal version of that song, I think somebody might have done it, but it's freaking incredible.
I wonder if that
I think,
Leo Maracchioli did one.
yeah, I believe he did.
Sue Cell Sister says, "What about the Early Morning Shake song?" I don't know that song.
Right there, throwing me off there. I was like, we're getting into more like Beatles and stuff. And that's what it sounds like it's from.
Well, I've got a list of Grand Funk Railroad songs for us to look through, thanks to Eckert Troll. So we'll be going through those. Now, we've been just kind of picking your brain.
Yeah.
But do you have something prepared that you would like to shine on for us?
Possibility. Gonna have to move rooms though, so hopefully that is not a big deal.
You can leave the studio and come back in when you get moved if you want to.
That ain't no big deal. I'm a quick mover sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah,
Somebody asked, "Do you know much Bob Dylan?" I like to talk like Bob Dylan.
The last time I listened to Bob Dylan, I wanted to not listen to it anymore. Is the best way of saying it.
I can listen to his song about the hurricane 50,000 times over, but anything
one
else,
of the
I
most
struggle.
Incredible songwriters.
Yep.
One of the worst vocalists I've ever heard.
Thank you. I think that too. I think his lyricist component was hefty, but his singing talent was horrible, because we used to have a Bible salesman that came to school every year, and you know the guy that you would sell the plaques for, the Bible salesman?
Yeah.
Okay, so his name is Bob Dylan. Not lying. That's Bob Dylan. And so as I got older, and of course I'd known him forever, and my mother was a teacher, so we got really comfortable with him. He would come in and I'd be like, "Hey, bub, what's going on today?" And my mother would slap me on the back of the head to make me shut up.
I would used to. I'm like, somebody would be like, "Oh, do you like Bob Dylan?" And I just look at him and go, "Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door." No.
But George Harrison, who I think actually was one of the most low-key talented of the Beatles.
Yeah, never was a huge Beatles fan.
I like some of his solo stuff.
I had to sing "Here Comes the Sun," and it sucked because we did not do a very good job on it, but I tried. Hopefully the audio isn't terrible. Let me sit you up here.
Canned Heat. I don't think I've ever heard of Canned Heat.
I have not.
Somebody's asking about Steve Vai, who is one of my son's guitar gods.
As soon as I leave the room, I know a little bit of "For the Love of God." Very little of it. I know the first little da, 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 and then that's it.
Now my son also is a huge Jason Becker fan, who now has ALS. He had early onset ALS at a young age, so we only got like 19 or 20 years of his guitar playing. He was like 20, 21 when he had to stop. And he is, if you've not ever listened to Jason Becker's Perpetual Burn, you need to go right now and YouTube that and listen to it. He's an amazing guitarist, and he still is creating music, but he's completely he's a quadriplegic now, but he still is producing music.
Just a little side note. Sorry, I've now noticed. Yeah, I'm not shaving my beard with how my hair looks. Oh my god. I just realized what it looks like now. I just now looked at myself.
Your hair looks fine.
So...
Somebody's asking, do you know any Black Label Society?
Do I? That's not it. Which that is just a little piano part of "In This River." which is really just mainly Zach Wilde. It is a tribute to Dimebag Darrell. That I listen to Stillborn. That's about all of BLS I listen to.
You know, a lot of the tributes to Dimebag actually created some very beautiful music. I was very impressed with everything that came out of that
Oh yeah,
loss.
it was
Let's see. Cindy's
great.
asking about Dio or Judas Priest.
Um, every time I speed, I yell "breaking the law" in my head. Um, I, I listen to a little bit of Judas Priest. Dio depends. There's like 3 songs, which is Holy Diver, Rainbow in the Dark, and it was Dio singing Dream On by Aerosmith, but the guitarist was Yngwie Malmsteen.
Oh wow. Oh
Sorry,
no.
I keep getting called. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
One of my friends. But yeah, I mean, this is another instrument that I've been playing, what, about 3 years now? 3 or 4 years? Something like that?
Yeah, around 4, I would say.
I mean, Jordan is the real piano player. But
He's the pianist little boy I've ever known.
yeah, I know. I kind of picked it up a little bit, and I think he got a little jealous. I remember when he was on Rent. I know y'all talked about that. I got a call from him, and he just goes, "I have a newfound respect for you." I was like, "Why?" He's like, "I just had to play Roger." I was like, "Okay." He's like, "I just had to play guitar." I was like, "Ha ha ha! Welcome to my world, chump."
That's good that y'all have like switched and kind of visited each other's talents. I enjoy that about y'all. Y'all have a little.
He couldn't stick with it because he hated it. He didn't hate it, but like his fingers are very very long, like piano.
They're made for the piano, yes.
Me, I have these little stumps, so that's why I play like bass and drums and guitar. Of course, I still got some reach. I can reach on the guitar and the piano a little bit, but it was very very unfamiliar to him. Just like when I started playing piano, it was very unfamiliar to me. Like I learned a few things, whatever. But like, it just all just started kind of coming to me. I learned a few chords and I just kind of went from there.
Oh, you were tiny and you picked up the guitar and all of a sudden you were this master talent, and then all of a sudden you transitioned to piano. And next thing I know, you were playing full songs. So
Well, I mean, it's taken me, almost 9 years to get where I am. Luckily, I've not had any big injury to hinder me. Knock on wood.
Yeah, because you wrestle, so we want you to be careful when you're wrestling. Now, I know you're going to sing us some full stuff on the piano, but I want to go through a few more things because the chat's going crazy here. Eckert says you look like a young Zach Wilde. That's awesome.
I get Chris Stapleton and Hank Jr. a lot.
Yeah, I'd say that too. Southpaw says Liz, your boy is off the chain talented. Like, oh my heart.
Thank you very much.
And then someone says, "Is this your son?" Actually, this is my bonus child. I would claim him any day, but this is my bonus child, Jonah. My son is the little red-headed leprechaun that climbs the trees and likes to terrify his mother. But my son also does play guitar. Matter of fact, he owes you money right now. He owes you money for guitar right now.
Well, I haven't had time to see him since he's had the little one. So
I know. We're both remember that. I talked to him and he was like, "Oh, Jonah money," and I was like, "I'll tell him. I'll let him know you remember."
Yeah, which I mean, it's not a big deal. I don't care. I still have the guitar that I bought off of him that he is now buying back.
That's what happens when you live in small towns. But it's actually a really nice guitar, isn't it?
Oh, I love it. Not a huge fan of the neck pickup, but that bridge pickup screams.
Yeah, it does. I always like the way that was sounded in the house. Okay, so everybody's laughing. They're like, "This is our third live ever with you, and I'm enjoying this so much." I have a lot of talented people around me, and for some reason, I'm like a magnet. I was called the trampoline mom of Jamestown because I would find people that didn't need to be in Jamestown and bounce them right on out of this place.
And now Jordan is probably in Vegas right now, probably getting ready to go to Europe, actually.
Yes. Jordan is how old is Jordan
weird.
now? Oh my gosh.
It sounds weird because we're 11 years apart almost, 10 years and like 6 months or something. 4 months? Yeah. 10 years and, no, sorry. Like, I don't know.
I still remember when you were just like 4 or 5 and you would literally, because Jordan was always so tall and skinny, so he would get out of clogging class and I would visit with your mom and talk for a minute, and you'd literally be climbing him trying to do wrestling moves to like drop him to the floor, and he would just be standing there And because you were so tiny, you were just like a nuisance at that point. It was so cute.
God, I remember he'd have friends over, and of course, me being the little douche I am, he'd go to the bathroom, and I would run in and hide beside the bed. And there would be times where he'd be like, "All right, get out." And then there would be times where he wouldn't find me for like 5 minutes. I'm like, "Hey," and I'd scare him and be like, whatever, and still he'd kick me out. And it's just been nice to grow up with him because, I mean, obviously, with 11 years between us, he left home a lot earlier than most siblings do. I miss him very, very much.
But he keeps coming back.
Okay, absolutely. Now, I'm glad that I've matured and I'm able to hold a full conversation. Obviously, I still ramble, but to not be so childish as I was, and to be able to actually, because I'm an adult. I should act like one. There's times where I like to mess around and just kind of be me, I guess you could say, and just make stupid jokes. Like, I'm sorry, I don't care how old I am. Fart jokes will always make me laugh.
Amen.
But there's but there's also times where I'm like, I need to be mature and quit being this, like little shit, and just like respect people and let them talk, which obviously I've been talking a lot. So
Well, this is about you. You should be talking. But we discuss this stuff when you visit and stuff. But I have to say that if I ever have a bad week and you visit, it boosts my spirits because I get to laugh more in literally an hour and a half or 2 hours than I have in probably weeks.
Well, I'm glad I could help because, I mean, you brought joy into my life. And by introducing me to Queen and just all around being a good person to me and helping pull me out of a depression. And ultimately, this is kind of deep, sorry, but ultimately keeping me from killing myself. I was in a very, very, very dark rut. And I still have episodes, but I am doing much, much, much better thanks to you and the people I have now surrounded myself with that boost me instead of put me down. And it's helped me a lot to be mentally healthier and happier and just live as who I am and just try to be nice to people and try not to put them down. Because I've said it to people and I've had it said to me, I'd rather sit and listen to you for 4 hours than go sit and listen to like a 20-minute movie.
Yeah, you said a lot right there. And my door's always open.
Absolutely. Except at like 3 a.m. because, it's usually locked.
Well, then you just need to knock louder and make Oscar let me in. So.
Which obviously I try not to make light of stuff like that, but sometimes it's good to laugh at yourself sometimes. Like, I've done it. I'm like, I don't know why I was feeling like that, but I'm a lot happier now. I look back and I'm like, there was things I could have done that I didn't, but I end up pulling myself through. I've had people to help me and just people to be kind to me. Because, I mean, you don't really think about it. People call you chode, whatever. Words hurt a lot more than people realize. And I've done it. I didn't realize it. And I ended up really hurting one of my close friends, some of my close friends' feelings. And I went back and apologized. And some people don't realize what they say may have a meaning to them, but it may mean something completely different to somebody else.
Yeah.
And I've been very, very lucky to have people around me that we joke, we call each other names, we beat the hell out of each other, and we make fun of each other. But we do it out of love. Like me and Gabe. We would call, oh God.
Now, Gabe is, if you go back in some of my older videos, he is also the other boy playing guitar. He's my bonus child.
Yeah.
He actually has half my Queen collection now, so he's my bonus child.
But like, me and him make fun of each other all the time, and like we'll trash talk each other, but we're like, oh, you can do that? Well, look what I can do, and it boosts us, and we learn and go over top of each other with our riffs and solos, and it builds us. It builds us character, and I mean, excuse this, but also Mama didn't raise no bitch, but at the same time she kind of did. It just depends. But like I said, yeah, it depends on the day. Like, I'm not gonna let somebody, be like, oh, well, you suck. I'm like, okay, well, good for your opinion, I guess. I don't care. But there's also other times that like kind of hit close to home where I'm like, oh, okay. But most of the time I try to let it slide And just like the more things I let roll off my back, the easier it is for me to continue on throughout my day. But the longer I nitpick at stuff and think about the little things that happens, the worse it gets. But I've been very lucky to have the talent I do to actually help me when nobody's there. Of course, that's, like 3 or 4 in the morning. I'll sit and play guitar. It pulls me through. It helps me out. I'll shed tears. I've shed blood playing guitar, which that's a completely different thing.
I've shed blood playing mandolin, but those strings hurt.
I've put my fingers up and playing guitar.
Yeah, music actually is psychologically proven. It creates a space for pain. It helps you process through emotions, and it actually creates space for your brain and your body to deal with issues.
And that's why I listen to very aggressive music, because it is scientifically proven metalheads are happier and they're nice people, because we are.
Well, they're more expressive, and with expression becomes, that's emotional. When you touch base with yourself emotionally and you know where you are emotionally and you can verbalize that, you're a healthier person.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to rag on Mom. I am.
You are.
She's like, you letting that devil me bitching you off even more. I'm like, no, it's not. It's helping me get my healthy way without putting holes in the wall or hurting somebody. And
music's great. If I'm ever in a place where I need to soften myself, I listen to Chris Cornell's Sun Showers, and that's one of my favorite songs. But music is a great mental health aid. It's wonderful. It does so much for so many people, and it's not given the credit it should be given. I was very young, and of course my dad was a minister, and I lived in a very rigid home, and Queen helped me to understand that there was life way beyond the hills that I was trapped in. and for me, that was big. That was like a mental hurdle for me.
It was the same for me, because of course now I just listen to it for enjoyment because I love it. But if I'm really upset, I listen to the heaviest of heavy that I can find.
Yeah.
Like a song called Worship the Digital Age by Whitechapel off of Our Endless War, I believe is the album. Nasty gutturals. Oh, it's one of the very few songs where I can't not stank face to it,
Yeah.
Because some of them just hit you and you're just like, ooh. And I've done the challenges. It's like try not to do it. And I'm just like, I struggle. But like that, and there's a new one. God, I can't remember the name of it. It's off their debut album. It's the song after their intro. Something in the defilement or something. It's incredibly nasty. It's awesome. I love it. Nasty to me is a good term for metal.
Yeah, it helps you release a lot that you hold in, I think, because I understand that as well. Everybody in the chat is agreeing that they agree that music and all types of music aids in processing stuff, and they're all supporting you 110%. And they're so glad that you're talking about this. And I don't want anybody to freak out, but we got through the stage where he was at when he was struggling, and we have an emergency contact plan, and he knows how to get in touch with me, and we have we've already set up all the boundaries and the process we need to in case we get to a place like that again. But we're good. We've been doing really good. He's been visiting a lot, and we kind of keep each other sane. But he's also, I keep trying to remind him, going through the hardest time in life, chemically and just mentally and emotionally. It's everything hits. So I think he's doing great. He's very critical of himself, but that is going to be a good thing in a few more years as he matures. So it will come in handy.
Yeah, sorry I had to step away for a second. Mom heard me talking shit. No, I'm just kidding.
You're fine. Your mom's beautiful. She definitely had 2 very, very, very passionate, talented young men. I'm just amazed. There must have been something in the water.
You asked her where we got, she'd just go.
She cracks me up, and she's always so supportive. She was always toting us back and forth to either clogging or to attend festivals with us. Or did you play football for a while?
3 practices and I quit.
Did you? I remember something she was telling me. You wanted to play football, but she's one of those moms that was always there when we had stuff going on. She was always there, always early, always prepared, and always appreciated her. And it was one of the most special things that I got to go through was when you boys and her, we all drove to the Queen Convention and got to spend that whole weekend together. That's gonna be one of my favorite memories of my entire life. So that was very
Yeah.
special for me. So obviously you're seated at the piano, and we've
Yeah.
been talking for a while, but I want you to kind of close this out with something you're super proud to share. So if you've got a song or two, how much more you feel like doing?
I can go as long as I want, I'm sure. But just on that little side note from the trip, that's where I really started getting into hip hop, because on the way to Ohio, listened to the entire Great Malenko album by Insane Clown Posse, and that's what really got me into them. That's just a side little tidbit that I like, because
Is that what you had in your ears back there?
no, remember I had those gigantic Audio Technica headphones on.
Yeah, I know. I didn't know what you was listening to.
Yeah, I was just absolutely blasting ICP, and of course now I'm just listening to all their stuff. I love it. And of course now I've gotten into like Tupac and some of the more like old school original hip hop stuff. But like horrorcore, I love it. Like I'd roll up to the stop sign at the 4-way, and people will hear like all this crazy nonsense coming out of my radio. I've gotten some weird looks by like 60-something-year-olds, just like, what? I'm just like, don't worry about it, and I drive along.
Yeah, you hear my Jeep long before you see my Jeep. I'm the same way.
Yeah, I radio crank.
Sue Soul Sister is wondering if you listen to Yellow Wolf and what you think of Yellow Wolf.
I don't. I've heard the name, but I haven't listened.
I've listened to some of his stuff, and I really like him. He's got kind of a chill, laid-back persona. Next time he come over, we'll definitely dip into his albums and music.
Which will hopefully be soon, so we can little teaser, so we can put up a new video.
Yeah, well, we're definitely going to be making more content, especially funny stuff. And
Yeah.
I'm going to warn you, whatever stupid stuff you send me, where you're doing stupid stuff to make me laugh, probably going to be sharing it from now on.
Yeah, so y'all have actually just kind of seen me through that stuff, and you see me in a lot in my happier stages. And of course, I am. What's a good way to put it?
You're a little turd.
I'm very dumb in a good way.
He's a little turd. He'll get into anything if it'll make you laugh.
Oh my God, I've done soaking rain, just downpour when I was real little. I ran as hard as I could at my trampoline and nothing but like I was in shorts, and no, it wasn't raining at that point. It was just starting to drizzle, and I got out in the rain a little bit, and I was jumping, and I did this huge like swanton bomb, which is a wrestling move. It's a front flip, essentially, and I did it, and I did the full spread eagle, like head over heels, and all I heard was, I was like, uh-oh. I was like, I looked down after I landed, and I was like, well, I just ripped my booties. I mean, from waistband to waistband, I was like, I have to go in the house.
When you were little, you were always up to mischief, which was something I always enjoyed, because you were. It didn't matter where you were. You would always get up to something, and I would just watch you and wonder what you were going to get into.
You were like, it's going to happen, and I'm going to laugh.
Yeah, I was like, I'm zeroed in. I'm watching this show. This is good. I'm going to laugh at this. But yeah, you were always super creative, but you were always going to get into something, and I always enjoyed that about you. Everybody is being super positive, and they're supporting you in the chats, in the comments. And they've picked up what I picked on. YouTube has been super negative lately, and they are so happy to have positive content, and they're super thankful for you sharing your talent with us.
Well, so, I'm glad y'all would have me on your screens, TVs, whatever you're watching on, to let me just kind of be there and share my story so far. Of course, yes, I'm very young, but I feel very old. My back is hurting right now. But like I've lived through a lot more than most 18-year-olds have.
You're definitely an old soul.
Oh, absolutely. But like I've gone through obviously family trauma, my own business, well, that sounded kind of egotistical. Sorry. My own dealings with,
Yeah, you've faced a lot in your family dynamic and stuff. You've went through a lot.
I've pulled through successfully every time. So far, I mean, there have been times where I've failed, but it only made me stronger, and I came back happier after doing my own thing and taking a little break.
Well, yeah, I definitely think you've always come back stronger, and you take those pauses to kind of heal internally and then bounce back. And I
Yeah.
think you've always come back stronger. Now, Southpaw says you have a new fan here in Arkansas. So you're growing. Your fan base is growing. Now, you're seated at the piano. So what are you going to play for us?
Well, this is an unusual pairing. It is Ozzy Osbourne and Elton John in a song called Ordinary Man. If you see me stop playing for a second and like reach up, I'm scrolling down because I can't remember the chords or the lyrics to save my life. So here this goes. Oh, Lord. Yep, there's that. I was unprepared for fame. Everybody knew my name. No more lonely nights, it's all for you. I have traveled many miles. I've seen tears and I've seen smiles. Just remember that it's all for you. Don't forget me as the colors fade. When the lights go down, it's just an empty stage. Okay, yes, I've been the bad guy, been higher than the blue sky. And the truth is I don't wanna die an ordinary man. I've made mama cry, don't know why I'm still alive. Yes, the truth is I don't wanna die an ordinary man. Many times I've lost control, try to kill my rock and roll. Just remember I'm still here for you. I don't want to say goodbye. When I do, you'll be alright. After all, I did it all for you. Don't forget me as the colors fade. 'Cause when the lights go down, it's just an empty stage. Okay, yes, I've been the bad guy, been higher than the blue sky. And the truth is I don't wanna die an ordinary man. I've made mama cry, don't know why I'm still alive. Yes, the truth is I don't wanna die an ordinary man. Yes, I've been the bad guy, been higher than the blue sky. And the truth is I don't wanna die an ordinary man. I've made mama cry, don't know why I'm still alive. Yes, the truth is I don't wanna die an ordinary man.
That was beautiful. I don't think you have to worry about the ordinary part ever. Denise is asking, do you have a YouTube channel?
Technically, I guess now I do. I've just never posted anything because I made it today. I never post anything ever usually. I share a lot of stuff on Facebook, and I do post videos on Facebook every now and again. So if you want to plug my Facebook, that's good. You can do that.
Yeah, I think what I'm going to have you do is send me in a message all of your social media you want to share it. I'm going to go back and edit the description and put your social media in there so they can contact you.
Main thing is Facebook. It's just my name, Jonah Wright. My Facebook profile picture is me. It's a black and white filter. It'll just be me with my hair over to the side. And my name is, like I said, Jonah Wright. It's very easy. JONAHWRIGHT. If you put that into Facebook and you see a little stupid guy looking like me, it's me. I'm very of crackhead Oompa Loompa status right now.
That was actually the most accurate description you've ever.
I share a lot of stupid memes on Facebook, so you'll probably see a lot of that in your feed if you add me. But every now and again, yes, I do get kind of uppity, and in a good way, and post some music stuff. I'm probably going to be working on some Conway Twitty stuff soon. Hopefully.
Oh, you going to pull out the sassy? Is that what you're going to do?
I saw
you said a Conway Twitty joke the other day. What was it?
It was the meme I showed you. It said, anytime Conway Twitty was writing any of his songs, I ain't never been this frisky in my life.
That's it?
I love Conway Twitty. And my favorite song is actually one my dad used to sing to me. Even as a child, I'd get sad over dumb shit, of course, like I'd drop an ice cream or something. I don't know.
Oh, you are very emotional, but that's not a bad thing. It's a good thing.
But like, I'd get emotional or whatever, and he'd sing the song. Oh God, what's the name of it? That's My Job.
Yes, beautiful.
And I ended up learning it, and I love it. It's one of my favorite Conway Twitty songs of all time.
That's a beautiful song.
So soon, hopefully, I will be learning it. Well, I've learned it. I just need to go back over it. I haven't done it in a while. I will probably be videoing it and posting it on my Facebook.
Which means I'm going to totally swap it and post it on YouTube.
Yeah, you can post it on your YouTube. You can share it all over Facebook. And I'm sure I need to start posting more stuff to get my name out there a little bit more. Luckily, I have somebody like my brother Jordan that will be able to hopefully have some stuff possibly lined up for me in the future.
And bonus mothers to introduce you to Peter Freestone.
Yes. yes, very. Thank you.
And we have Creek Squad 2894 in here saying maybe I can play you guys some guitar, or me and Jonah can get some good country tunes going. I say if we can do the StreamYard to get y'all together, we definitely should. Well, I'm open to give it a try. Just keep in contact with us. And look for Denise. She's dropping links about how to contact me if you need to contact me.
Cool.
So maybe we can do like a StreamYard like musical Wheel of Fortune. And we'll get everybody together and we'll try to get you all playing together. That would be awesome.
I mean, honestly, if we could do that, holy crap.
That would be great. I'm up for it.
If we could do a StreamYard guess that riff or that song, I would lose my mind because I love doing stuff like that and I like stumping people.
Well, that's definitely should be our first thing then. Get some riffs together, practice them, and then we'll go live on StreamYard. You can come into my studio and we'll battle it off and see who can get the audience to guess more riffs correctly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down with that.
I'm up for that. I think that sounds like fun. We need more fun.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm cool with that.
That'll work for me.
Okay, so where else can they find you online as we close this out? Where else can they find you online?
Other than Facebook is my Snapchat. Which, oh God, what is it? I don't remember.
Is that JLEU?
Yeah, it's my first initial, middle name, and last initial. So JLEEW. So JLEW_33, I believe. That is my Snapchat. I have Instagram, but I don't really use it. I have some stuff on there. I believe that is the same thing. My Instagram is the same thing.
It is, yeah.
If it isn't JLEW_33, it's 03. It's one of the two. Which I believe it's 33 or something like that. It's one of the two.
But if you can't find them, Denise just dropped my email. You can email me to contact me, and I'll help you find them. And I will update the description and put his links in the description here momentarily. And Creek Squad 2894 says he's down for the riff off. So we're gonna Creek Squad email me, and we'll get that together and in the works.
Sweet. And I'm sure I will be over in a few days to probably do one of the last weed eatings of the year.
Oh yeah, my yard doesn't need weed eating. But Saturday we've got that
Kind of slack.
festival. Yeah,
Uh,
Saturday we've got that vendor sale. But after that, I'm home.
yeah, sweet. Friday might be able to come over and help you do some stuff, by the way. Just letting you know.
That sounds awesome. I look forward
Possible.
to it. Okay, well, listen, my phone is about to die, but I have enjoyed this so much.
Mine is too. I'm at 10%.
Yes, everybody, after this loads, keep posting comments, keep sharing this, show it to everybody. Somebody get it to Ron. I'll try to send it to him, but somebody else try to send it to him. He needs to see this kind of talent we have in these rural areas. I know he would absolutely support it. So everybody, give us a shout out, and next time I will give you a warning before we do this again, so everybody can invite their friends. We're going to do this again, so next time it's going to be even better.
Yeah.
So I'm going to sign off before my phone dies. Jonah, thank you so much for sharing your talent with us.
Thank you so much for having me. And thank you all for tuning in and listening to my little tidbits and stories and whatnot. I appreciate it very, very much. And it's been a very good self-boost for me. And thank you.
And he'll be back very, very soon, literally probably in just a few days. So y'all, hang on to your hats. We got more for you. Okay, I'm going to sign off before my phone dies. Everybody, I love you. Have a good night. We will see you soon. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.